What's up, everybody? It is good to be back in the studio and talking about the latest iteration of the Guitar Rig software from Native Instruments and how well this is working on the brand new Apple M1 Mac Mini. It's also my first time really playing around with a lot of these presets, so it's going to be fun. So let's jump in. I really like how they've got the presets browser organized where you can really just kind of jump in and look at some different categories of input sources, effects types. I'm going to go with just character and say distorted. And I'm going to jump in and take a look at my favorite amplifier to start with. So Ramfire, the Rammstein amplifier. Genre is going to be rock. And I've pared down all my preset results into, just 7 here. I'm going to choose the Crunch Monster and do a little tweaking here. So far, sounds pretty cool. And I'm recording with some fairly low latency. It's got an automatic gate popped on here, which is pretty sweet. I'm recording at 128 samples, so if you do the math, sub 1 second latency. So it's maybe a little bit detectable, but it's actually it's pretty responsive. Pots are a little scratchy. I got to replace the knobs, the pots on my guitar, but let's increase the presence on that a little bit and put a little air into the control room. I can also pop this little octagon thing open to get some more controls over, it looks like, the various mics. And what levels those are in the mix, which is just really cool. I'll save that riff for later. We're on a Rammstein amp, and I want to play something a little more metal, so I'm going to go into the Rammstein sounds. And here's what I love about this gain knob. Watch this. This is my favorite part. You turn this up to 10, we're going to go 9.75, 9.8, and it goes straight to 11. There's no 10. So you can take this amp right to 11 and... Yes! That sounds fantastic. Going to crank the presence on that a little bit. Here's a solid EQ, which is kind of like a SSL EQ, so I'm just going to crank the gain on the high frequencies, a blue knob. And so I'm going to come down on maybe a little bit of that hunky sort of 4K character. But now we're getting into mixing. It's like here's the amp sound. Now here's the mix chain. Here's an SSL style EQ. Here's a little bit of compression. Is a little bit sloppy, but you get the idea. Holy smokes, people, this sounds pretty good. I have to say, sounds pretty darn good. I really do like this amplifier too. It's probably my favorite. I went when I checked this out for just about 10 minutes before I started the video. I checked out this amp, and then I checked out the kind of Marshall-y sounding one. That's the ICM technology, which is really cool if you read up on that. I'm not going to get too much into it here. But just in general, I mean, what's my experience so far, guys? First 5 minutes here, I'm having nothing but fun. The 10 minutes or so before I started the video, having nothing but fun. So in general, it's working really well. Just like everything else I've, you know, touched on, just like everything else I've videoed so far, it's working super well. I clicked on this button here and it crashed earlier. So I'm just going to say that. I don't know what that button does. I'll read up on it in the manual, but that happened. So other than that kind of, you know, snafu, it's been working really, really well. And it was easy to fire back up and get back into it. So it's, you know, I can't, absolutely no complaints so far. And it's just going to get better as it comes into full support, and every you know, all the software comes around to the hardware, right? In general, sounding great. Sounding freaking great. I bet there's a Metallica preset. So let's do a little bit of digging. I thought I saw a video on YouTube of someone looking at Metallica presets. So let's try just clearing out some of the, and here we go. Let's go to artists and let's see what we have. Now, these are artists that are sort of officially Phil Collins. That's just awesome, by the way. Def Leppard, come on. But these are artists that are officially sort of sponsored, supported by Native Instruments, which is really, really cool. So what I'm looking for is some sort of metal tones reminiscent of Metallica. I'm pretty sure there's something in there that looks pretty cool. Sounds pretty good. There's a little bit of room in that, so if I back all of that off and go into the cabinet, we can obviously do some of the same things that we can do on that previous preset by adding in, like if we wanted to add an SSL EQ or a 1176 kind of compressor, just jump in here to components. There's all sorts of stuff to add, right? So go ahead and grab your, there's a bus compressor. That's pretty nice. So yeah, go ahead and grab your SSL EQ. Go ahead and grab your VCA 76, right? There's your SSL EQ right into your 1176. Let's crank up the high frequency a little bit. So it's, you know, if it sounds a little dark, brighten it up. You know, this is what's really cool about the SSL style EQs is giving it a lot. It really, you know, it boosts it in a musical way. It's not harsh, you know. So, you know, it's really pretty dope. This is a nice, you know, sort of relative setting to kind of set that to about 2. And obviously, these are just. Right? I'm just fiddling around with this stuff and it's like, oh, that sounds good. You can get real scientific with all this stuff, but that's not what this video is about. This video is about just how well does this work? And what have I been doing for the last, now another 5 minutes? Again, just having fun, just having fun, jumping in, you know, looking at presets, playing a little guitar. And what can I say, people? It works really, really great. Absolutely no complaints so far, and I can't wait to just, you know, spend an hour with this thing, really dive in deeply. I'll do that in a future video. I'm going to keep this one fairly short and sweet, just sort of documenting my experience and just sort of initial exposure to Guitar Rig 6. It's really cool. I really dig it, and can't wait to play with it more. Until next time.